Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode. Today we've got Propto's CEO, Steven Blanc, and Propto's marketing and development lead, David Rutledge, in the house. They're currently backstage with me, and they're ready to share some big news and updates. But before we begin, let's roll that intro.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
Blockchain, if you think about it, is just basically like this very good public, cryptographically secure distributed ledger that allows you to represent securities alongside with cash and move them in a very efficient way. The goal there is actually to try to democratize access to those financial services products by using tokenization as a means of digitization.
Bringing RWAs on chain makes complete sense. It opens so much liquidity and we can do so much more with the assets.
Our era is witnessing an unprecedented growth in digital technologies. In particular, the rapid development of artificial intelligence looks set to transform a swath of industries, including the financial sector.
I view crypto and blockchain as a very bipartisan. You shouldn't care about a technology depending upon what party you're from. I think being pro-innovation and pro-job growth makes sense on both sides of the aisle.
So there's just a lot of cool automation that would come from this fractionalized concept relating to real estate.
It's the biggest asset class in the world. And it's the most inefficient. It's archaic in the extreme. The future is now. It's coming. Real estate is here, and it's going to be the biggest tokenized asset class by far.
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying the content and find value in what I'm sharing, I'd greatly appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support not only helps this channel grow, but ensures that you stay up to date on the latest and greatest content. Thanks for tuning in today and for spreading the word. Love you mucho. What's going on? Thank you for joining everyone. Today we have with us Steven Blanc, the co-founder and CEO of Reclosure, the pioneer of the technology-enabled platform Propto, and the head of marketing and development, David Rutledge. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining today. It's a privilege to have you on. How you doing today?
Doing great. Ray, thank you very much for having us here. It's a privilege. Thank you.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, I do want to give you guys a proper introduction and then allow you to also fill any gaps, if any. But I'm pretty sure I did my homework on you, especially Steven, because you are a man that's very busy and making waves in the whole tokenization movement, particularly in regards to real estate. So with that being said, Propto is a Ripple partner focusing on tokenization of real estate and other real world assets. Propto is the European Union's first Irish entry in the EU blockchain sandbox and was also Ripple Wave 7 grant winner. So congratulations, Steven. Fast forward to today, the company has now been accepted into Ripple's accelerator program to scale the platform worldwide. So without any further ado, let's have some fun today, and congratulations, gentlemen, on your success. Real quick, I had the opportunity to fly up to Ripple's headquarters last week and tune into is it Julia in regard, or head of the grants program. So to hear that you guys have not only succeeded through the grant waves number 7 and now onto the accelerator program, that's some big news. So congratulations. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Propto. What's going on there?
Oh, thank you for having us. And it's been a journey with the XRPL dev team and with Ripple. So just to clarify, it's XRPL Wave 7. We're now working on the scale program. We're not yet a partner. A partner is next level above, but it's where they work with us to bring us from 0 to 100. So we're hoping that's the next stage. But to give you a little bit of background, I'm Steve Blanc, CEO and co-founder of Propto. My background was real estate, and frustrated with the involved in our industry, we decided to create an alternative investment platform. And that platform would allow you to buy, sell, trade, and manage real world assets. So whether that be income producing real estate or bonds in a seamless and regulated environment 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So how have we done that? That's complicated.
Well, that's because you are an experienced individual with over 20 years of experience in the real estate. You've previously served as the director at Sherry Fitzgerald Blanc and head of residential Bid X1, which is Europe's largest or leading digital property marketplace. So this isn't your first go at a tech-enabled platform. Do you mind talking about your experience and why you're the right man to lead this lead Propto?
Yeah, of course. So my background initially was traditional residential real estate. So I would have worked with the Sherry Fitzgerald Group initially in the franchise team, and then as part of the core group. And we would have been or Sherry as a company is the largest and leading estate agent in Ireland. Sherry Fitzgerald would be world renowned, and a company which I still to this day hold very heavily in high regard. So if you're ever going to buy and sell traditional real estate, Sherry Fitz in Ireland are the company to go to. So I spent 16 years of my life there, and
Wow.
thoroughly enjoyed the company and the ethos of the people behind it. They're a company that very early on embraced technology when others didn't. And after a number of years, we exited out. So we were a franchise owner. We exited out of that business. We had the opportunity to do so. And essentially, I went in during COVID into Bid X1. Bid X1 were an auction technology company looking to expand into Europe. And I was responsible for trying to drive private business into that company. It was a company which specialized in auction technology. And to be honest, excited by the success of that business, it gave me inspiration to go back and be self-employed again and get this up and running. So it was really from realizing just how big the world is and seeing the opportunities what got me so excited for here. And as your intro rightly suggested, real estate has multiple stakeholders. It is multiple parties. It can be very time consuming, very slow, very illiquid, and for investors, very expensive to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we created here. So now we have the opportunity to democratize investments, not just real estate, but we'll give real estate for this example, but you have the opportunity to buy assets, institutional grade assets, and receive a safe, regulated, protected monthly income.
Yeah, let's talk about that. It's a platform that investors can begin investing in tokenized properties as soon as they complete the KYC, AML processes. Can you double click on the those processes or the regulations that you guys need to abide by, or I mean, as much as you can disclose to
I can give high level. Yes.
To underscore that you guys are playing within the governing frameworks and working with regulators for progress.
Exactly. Like we're regulation first, and I'm very lucky that I've got two very well renowned co-founders. So Deborah Hutton. Deborah was former head of legal at Citibank Group. And previously a partner at Evershed Sutherland Solicitors. She's a specialist securities lawyer. And then Caroline Halton. So Caroline Halton was a director of Goldman Sachs. So she worked in the asset management and real estate division for the last, I believe, 8 years. So I'm very lucky in that my co-founders are TradFi. They're very well known. But what we've done as a group is we work together to build a full licensing umbrella. And that licensing umbrella includes traditional securities, so your MiFID license, investment brokerage. And then we work on the digital asset side. So, and by doing so, we've worked with regulated partners that hold VASP license, custody license, and registrar license, so that we ensure that when we're selling product, we're only selling product which has been approved and is correct before it goes to market.
Interesting. And thank you for providing clarity on even the fundamentals of your team. You've got a really decorated and highly seasoned team, especially from the real estate, AI, and machine learning. Can you talk about also some of the qualities that your team offers specifically from a technical perspective and why that's imperative for the growth of Propto?
Yeah. So between us, we were all had worked on past automation projects within our industries. So we were the best lessons learned from traditional Web 2 prop techs or fintechs, and then combine it with our renowned CTO. So Eduardo Penavina, his background, as you rightly said, was in cybersecurity and machine learning. He was a researcher in cybersecurity at both Fraunhofer and Airbus. And I've been working with Eduardo for a number of years to scope out this project. So this isn't a project that came together overnight. It's a project which has been on our mind for a number of years, 5 or 6 years. We've been actively building and self-funding it for the last 2.5. And when we came together, we wanted to provide a solution that everybody could use. And everyone says that, but Web3 is inherently hard to use. And if we want real adoption in Web3, well, we need to make it simple. So unfortunately, we had to throw away the rule book. We had to completely design our own product. And that's why we've been in silence for 2 years. When people in TradFi think we've gone a bit mad and we've ground, we haven't. We've just been building. And we've tried to do our utmost.
That's great to hear. Your head's been down and you guys have been building. That is I resonate with that, and that's for me the hardest as well, because I'm a little about me, or obviously I'm very public facing, and so whenever I take information, I want to share it immediately. So, kudos to you guys for being able to keep such exciting information close to the chest. On the topic of that, of the inspiration of Propto, can you, for those in the audience who might not be familiar of some of the friction points in the real estate transactions that highlight the true benefits of Propto, can you talk about some of the benefits that Propto brings to the real estate market?
Yes, well, I'll have to probably break it into two camps. So
Okay.
your seller and your buyers. So what we've done for the sellers is we've created a full CRM for and life cycle management. So we don't expect our sellers to know anything about blockchain or to know anything about cryptocurrency. If anything, we expect that may just frighten them off. So what we're doing here is we've built a solution that will allow them to invite their entire team. We're not cutting anybody out. We're building a value add for them. So we've created a solution that allows an institutional seller to invite their real estate agent or broker, to invite their notary or their solicitor to upload legal documentation, and their auditors. And by doing so, they're able to issue an asset. And then you mentioned it, machine learning and AI, but what Eduardo has done is he's able to take that unstructured data to speed up the process. So we can create draft investor prospectus, draft marketing material with relative ease, but allowing people to get to market smoother and more efficiently. In terms of the buyer side, you're going to have the same problem. Well, we have to bring it down to what are we selling? So when we launch, we're going to be selling predominantly impact investments. So that whether that be renewable or ESG bonds, or commercial real estate that might be in social housing or student accommodation, we're ultimately selling people. We're using technology to do it, but we're ultimately selling the team who's managing that underlying asset. You're buying into a particular building that produces an income, and you need to know that you can trust the people who are working on that asset. So we've built a solution that allows you to use fiat to buy a share of an investment product and to receive yield. Well, it should be as simple as buying and selling anything else online, and I believe that's the solution that we've created.
100%, and I think that's one of the biggest kickers here with this whole movement and digitization, or some of what I believe is the biggest benefits of digital assets is if you can keep your liquidity all within the same ecosystem and easily slide in and out of whatever asset class that you want, underpinned by the liquidity, then I think that's a really a seamless and empowering feature, because then you don't need to park your cash with one entity and then withdraw, wait however long it takes to then redeposit into another third party application. You can just seamlessly slide in and out and self-direct into whatever opportunity that your heart desires. So kudos to you guys. On the topic of that and the underpinned of the infrastructure, or the possibilities which are underpinned by blockchain infrastructure, particularly I believe you guys are leveraging the Ethereum virtual machine for smart contracts and the XRPL for settlement. Do you mind discussing why you made those decisions to utilize those specific chains and empower your business model?
Yeah, so look, certainly with smart contracts, let's keep it simple.
Yeah,
But with smart
please.
contracts, we remove the back office friction traditionally associated with Web2 businesses. So we're able to for example, we're in a position where we can list assets. We could have a commercial real estate agent list that product. They don't need to trust us. When an asset is purchased, they will instantly receive a fee into their virtual IBAN or bank account. So we're able to mark all trades. We're able to confirm your AML, your KYC or KYB instantly, and we're able to create a full history of that record. The reason we've chosen to do it in combination, so initially we're going to deploy on the XRPL, and once the XRPL EVM sidechain is complete, we will merge both. The reason we've chosen to do the XRPL is finality. It's a very affordable product to use. We trust it. Banks trust it. So, and I believe it is probably the best product out there for financial services firms.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Steven. I'm coming at you with some tough questions, so I really appreciate you leaning in and swinging away, sir. When reviewing your recently launched website, which I believe it was just a few days ago, so congratulations. There's on your website towards the bottom, you have your FAQs. One of those FAQs resonated with me significantly because coming from Link2, they're also aspire to tokenize private securities. What they leverage and what has been articulated is special purpose vehicles, SPVs. And I was curious, I don't know if you would be, I was hoping that you would be able to go into further detail about this particular question here. Why is an SPV required to tokenize an asset? Would you be able to share with the audience the power of SPVs and why they are pivotal for tokenization or tokenizing assets?
Yeah, look, for tokenizing equity or shares, they're absolutely pivotal. So what we want to do is give you real ownership, not synthetic ownership, real ownership of the underlying asset. So if we're going to be selling 10% or 20% of an asset, well, you want to know that the blockchain is used to record the transaction, but offline, the registrar has recorded that you're now a new owner on the cap table of the company that owns the underlying asset, being the SPV. So it's vital that you have that opportunity. There are times where an SPV may not actually need to be required. You can, in some instances, actually sell shares by the form of tokenization in the existing cap table if people are exiting out. But an SPV is generally the cleanest approach.
Thank you for that. I do want to play a quick clip for those in the audience who are new to Propto. Do you guys mind if I play that quick Propto marketing video?
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Have you wondered how technology is transforming real-world asset ownership? Real estate tokenization allows anyone to own a portion of high-value properties, lowering financial barriers. Introducing Propto, a leader in this revolution, helping investors diversify portfolios with secure, transparent transactions. Whether you're new to investing or expanding your portfolio, Propto offers a seamless way to invest in real estate. Are you ready to take the next step in your investment journey? Join Propto today.
I'm sold. I'm headed over there right now. Hey, thank you for that. And I appreciate your support, David, with organizing some very impactful, empowering marketing materials, sir. You're doing a great job. And I would love to get a better take from you as far as the efforts from a marketing push that Propto is focusing on right now, sir. I know that you guys are doing some giveaways. You've got a upcoming token that is to be launched. Do you mind discussing some of the things that are in the works for Propto, sir?
Well, first of all, Ray, I want to say thank you for having us here.
Absolutely.
Full disclosure, you're one of the community members who I've actually been able to shake hands with, and it's really great to be on here with you and representing Propto. I came to know Propto during my time in Paris at the XRPL Commons. We were on a call with Kennedy when Propto was part of the first accelerator module, which is called Launch, and they've since expanded into Scale. Getting to talk to Steven even briefly and taking a deep look at what they've built, it got me very, very excited. I've been dabbling, well, actually, I've been building communities since 2007 when I started with little old lady knitters on Etsy, and community building has come quite a way since then. So I'm really excited to be here with a project that has a team and some validation that has been somewhat lacking in the space in terms of having all of the, all of the legal and compliance issues settled first. I have a project that moves sort of in tandem with them, with Propto. So it was really just a natural relationship. So step ahead to today, Steven and I work together almost around the clock to try to bring Propto into the community. And community is everything. One of the things that I learned in Paris, also on the call with Tenety and at Apex and other venues, is that our community is vital. So we're here with you today to try to expand our community, to expose your community to Propto, and hopefully onboard some of your members into our community to give them access to this great platform.
Yeah, well, let's talk about some of the offerings and exciting promotions that you got going on, David. On the screen, I believe you have a 1,000 XRP giveaway for those who go and I believe get or sign up for early access.
Right. So to familiarize with everybody, we want them to go to our site and see more what Propto is bringing forward. To do so, we decided to dig into our pockets and give away 1,000 XRP during the whole month of October. The winner will be announced in a space on November 5th. To enter, you can enter one of a number of ways. Number one, simply follow the X account we'll follow the Propto account on X. We will add all of those entries into a pool along with people who do, other activities. By going to the website, clicking on early access, get early access, and filling out the form, you'll receive another entry. All of those will be tabulated, put into a randomizer, and drawn live in our space on the 5th. So we're very excited for the community to be able to give away what we feel is a substantial amount of XRP. Today, it's not worth as much as it was yesterday, but come November 5th, who knows what it'll actually be worth, but the giveaway stands.
Awesome. Very, very kind of you guys, and exciting regardless of the recent developments. We're here for the long haul, right, guys?
Absolutely.
I think that whole price fluctuation and such is, I mean, when you guys should resonate or understand this. I mean, you're busy working around the clock, 24/7, 365. Does speculation really impact your mindset?
No, it does not. It's over today, but for me, no.
I can speak briefly with what Steven and his team are building. Price speculation on XRP, the native token, is irrelevant. It simply is a means of conversion. Everything gets transferred to stable coins. So our main concern is the functionality of the ledger itself, the rapid transactions. What Propto is building is tied to a real world asset. So we're more concerned about the price definition in the real estate and real world asset spaces themselves.
You know what? On the topic of all that you're doing and all these accomplishments, Steven, and I'm going to appreciate your input, David. I'm going to switch over to Steven for a hot second. Do you mind, with your recent accomplishments from the XRPL grant winner, from the grant to the accelerator, to also, I believe you secured the EU blockchain, the first EU blockchain partnership for the Irish presence. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but can you talk about some of your proudest accomplishments along this way that I'm sure motivates you to continue getting into the trenches day in and day out?
I think, Ray, you know what it's really like being a founder. You see the very dark days, and then you always try and keep the glass half full. But we've an incredible year. So we've one of the first Web3 companies to get the support of Enterprise Ireland. So Enterprise Ireland is our state-backed VC. We initially worked right at local level with Leo into Enterprise Ireland. We then had the same accomplishment. We worked with into the XRPL Wave 7, and now with Ripple or Ripple X into the Scale program. So we need to sometimes take a step back and realize how hard we're working. To get into the EU blockchain sandbox, to represent Ireland, and to do so at such an early stage company has been a big honor for ourselves. We're able to stress test our model. We're able to put Ireland on the map. And I have to give another shout out. So we're the first for dividend paying for shares, bonds, and real estate. But there's another great company in Ireland called True, who are also representing with us in the EU blockchain sandbox. So they're there for crowdfunding. So there's two companies from Ireland who are representing, and we're all jointly well supported by Blockchain Ireland.
Very
so
very cool.
We've had an incredible year. Personally, probably my biggest issue. So I've been a cryptocurrency and blockchain advocate for a number of years. You probably can guess by who I'm building on, where my allegiance lies.
Where is do you mind sharing with those in the audience who may not?
Yeah, and I'll put it this way: I'm a Ripple maxi. So
I love to hear
I'm a Ripple maxi. I love their products. I love exactly what they can do. Sometimes I get a little bit frustrated at times with the community because they want things to happen fast, but I think it's slowly, and then all at once. And I fully believe now that we're working with the team that they are the right outfit that are going to provide the infrastructure for us to move this forward. And I think with integrations, the likes of hooks and EVM sidechain, we're in business. My dream was probably sitting on stage. So I had gone through every founder's nightmare. I found it very difficult. You're having the dark nights. You're working your 16-hour days. You're constantly traveling. You're not paying yourself. And one of the things I had to do, so we self-funded this business to here. One of the things I did is I sold my real estate. I sold my cars. I sold my Bitcoin. I didn't sell my XRP. So I didn't sell my XRP, but I sat on. Biggest achievement for me personally was probably sitting on Ripple stage at Apex in Amsterdam and getting to speak about our accomplishments and everything that the XRPL and DevX team have done. And that was probably my proudest moment, getting to look at that Ripple logo, getting to see our name and our brand on stage, and realizing after 2 years of hard work, we're finally getting it. But maybe not just 2 years of hard work, but maybe 5 or 6 years of really liking a company, liking their blockchain, liking their products a lot.
Yeah, that's inspiring, and it's great to hear that you are a Ripple maxi, like many of us who are tuning into this call. Many in my community as well. Full transparency, coming from Link2, how I got to Link2 was through the XRP community, becoming a Ripple shareholder, and then developing proud relationships with the C-suite team at Link2. So I'm in the same camp. But not having to sell any classic cars yet to fund my lifestyle, but who knows? I might have to. I'm just kidding. But anyways, hey, it would be great to actually. You brought up hooks. Do you mind talking about the power of hooks and how hooks would impact your business model in any capacity?
You know, this is the time where I'd love my CTO to be on the call so he can delve in really technical with you. But
Yeah.
I'm going to go nice and high level.
Okay.
We need a really robust and efficient system. So for me as a business owner and CEO, I need to ensure that we fully trust everything that's happened, that we can remove the inefficiencies, we can make a product more simpler. And I believe that hooks are vital in order to do that. So we need to get them implemented. Once that happens, I think you're going to see a flood of projects starting to build on the XRPL. I know certainly a lot of companies that I'm speaking to in TradFi or in traditional business are very much looking at Ripple. They're looking at the XRPL. They see the potential with it, but I think that enhancement with hooks and with the EVM sidechain is just the missing piece that's needed for us traditional businesses to fully process our solutions on chain.
Yeah, very exciting times, and kudos to Weezy and his team for all their recent developments. I think they also just came up with some additional news in regards to updates on their platform. A little bit about me, gentlemen. I'm working with an XRPL developer named Boone Bergsma out of Blockchain Laboratories, and we're building some really interesting things from the aspect of tokenizing, not real estate, but just the content that I curate here. So, for instance, I could screen grab this very shot of you sipping that glass, and that could be a proud digital moment from this production, Steven. So
fantastic.
I appreciate
lots of really exciting projects.
Yes,
and lots to share. I like it.
Absolutely. Do you mind discussing anything coming in the near term or the short term or any term in regards to Propto's roadmap? So anything coming up that you'd like to discuss?
Course. So we're looking at a Q2 launch. So we've got 50 million worth of product to go to market. And again, it's not just real estate. So we've got a combination of ESG projects in the form of bonds, and then some very top quality institutional grade real estate, which I believe will give huge impact, proper impact investments. I can't go into all the details now, but it'll be Q2 within the year. Please please share, please follow for updates.
Absolutely.
We will send you out the newsletters as and when we can. There's a little bit of regulatory work in order to prep those projects for sale. Before that, we are aiming to launch our own utility token, which will most likely be towards the end of this year, on a couple of decentralized exchanges. Which obviously Dave is here to try and collate, and we look forward to announcing more in due course.
Do you, on the topic of the utility token, you mentioned that this is going to enable your investors to collect on dividends. There's, I'm sure, other utility functions surrounding your token. Do you mind touching base on what's going to be backing those utility tokens? Is it the assets on the platform? What is driving value for your utility token?
No, so we have two token systems. So what we've done is we've created our own security token standard. So, and our security token standard is, think of it as a smart token. So that'll give the full history of the product that you're buying, whether it's a dividend paying share or a dividend paying bond or a timed bond. So that's your security token standards. That falls under your TradFi regulation. So what falls under VASP regulation is our utility token. So, and our utility token essentially is the conversion. So how we purchase that product. So there will be incentives for users, whether that be liquidity provisions, whether that be rewards for staking or discount and fees. So again, what we have is we're going to be launching in the next 2 weeks the utility token white paper on the site, on Propto.com. Get onto the website, and we'll get you early access to that white paper in due course.
On the screen is the website, visit propto.com or propto.com. Very, very exciting times for you guys. Congratulations. What I thought was very exciting, and I'm going to flash up onto the screen here. I was doing some research on your potential target market from is it Statista? Statista in 2023 estimated the value of the global commercial real estate market was approximately $37 trillion, up from almost 35 trillion the year before. Do these numbers get you excited, get your blood pumping? I mean, the opportunities is enormous. Can you talk about the market that you guys are aiming at?
Yeah, it's the largest asset class in the world. The realistic value of tradable assets in total is probably around 350, so maybe 10 times that in real estate as an entire asset class.
Wow.
So it's a much larger asset class. CBRE, Savills, Cushman, they would have global economic reports, which will show the value asset class broken down by asset type, but more likely in the $350,000 trillion range is the total value of real estate. And you're right. I believe that 37 trillion is income producing real estate, commercial real estate.
Okay. So that would be ripe for your utility token, is what you're mentioning.
Yeah, like certainly in terms of our utility token, obviously there will be benefits for its users, but it's not what's used as your core primary purpose. So where we're looking at, when you're buying a fractional real estate, if you're buying a share or bond, we're simplifying it. So we're helping to use that utility token to remove the friction points. So that all happens atomically behind the scenes. So no one ever has to go out and buy that utility token. Of course they can. Of course the Web3 cohort will. But our traditional investor base is going to use fiat, and they're going to want to buy a fractional ownership in a product. So we use that utility token to remove the complexities of having to go out and buy a wallet, of having to go out and fund a contract, of having to go out and send a crypto from one wallet to the other. And very simply, we allow you to use fiat to buy your digital asset. So, and that utility is hidden in the background.
How soon do you think the investors will be able to use RLUSD? Speculative.
Speculatively, I would like to see it on our platform when we launch.
Excellent.
So we hope next it's ready to go when we are.
Okay, exciting. That's great to hear. David, switching back to you, sir, because I know that you have some various programs or in marketing endeavors coming up from collaborating with the founder of XP Market and some others. Do you mind talking about some specific campaigns that are coming down the pike for some of the audience to engage upon or engage with?
Right. Well, as you know, X, formerly Twitter, is one of the biggest drivers in our space. So we are going with a very heavy push for X Spaces, where we're featuring, well, for example, on Monday, we have David Simmons, who's the co-founder of DALI. He has some partnerships in the space where he's recently partnered with Zaman, with BitHop, XRPL Explorer. So we're looking at projects that we have sort of a connectivity with, that we can also sort of co-brand together. And we're looking at growing Propto and other platforms in the space where we will have that sort of connectivity. File Ledger is another example. Many of these are projects that we've met either through the Tenity accelerators or through my time at XRPL Commons in Paris, where we've sort of been hand-fed all of these really wonderful projects. And a lot of the project owners, some of them, like Artur, will be with him on Thursday, are very good and very eloquent and have sort of a roadmap for, becoming part of the broader community on X and other platforms. But some of these other platforms or some of these other projects I'm learning sort of need a little bit of a helping hand. And that's where people like yourself, Crypto Airy, we'll probably do some work with Jenna X and some other people are really helping push that engagement and exposing us to their communities where we can all sort of come together under one broader umbrella and help each other out.
Love to hear that. And I think if my memory serves me correct, Jenna just won some type of martial arts combat overseas.
I'm going to throw it to Steven. He was actually there and got to see it. I've been a member of Jenna X's server for a long time, and we're so proud of her. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, no, we did. So we thankfully myself and Eduardo got invited to the event. We were out with Ripple on the Scale program. We got a couple of days at Token 24/9. And on the evening of that event at Karate Combat, Jenna competed in an influencer battle.
Yeah.
And after the pro card, and she did incredible. So she did incredible. It's
very
white
cool.
collar karate combat. But she was fantastic. I believe she got in the best shape of her life. Thoroughly enjoyed the experience, and I believe they raised some money for charity. So well done to them.
Very cool. What an exciting battle that must have been to witness. Do you mind actually on the topic of Token 2049, because you were at Ripple's headquarters? Can you talk about your experience at Token 2049 and any impact it might have on your direction as a business leader?
Yeah, I have to admit, I'll step it back a tiny bit. One of the things we've been very lucky with doing, whether it's been working with Tokenization, whether working with Ripple, whether work with the XRPL and DevX teams, we're meeting people now. So I think you're well aware the Web3 space is broad.
Mm-hmm.
There are very various different projects. And because we've been able to work with so tightly with the team, we're starting to meet some really solid projects. So what actually gave to me was pure excitement that there's a very much a collaborative approach in the space. Everyone is willing to share their knowledge, share their time, try and help each other grow. And I think you're starting to see that Ripple X team, Julia, Adrian, Sophie, Christina, really pushing to build a cohort. And I think you're going to see some serious TradFi projects starting to come out of it. And the great thing with Ripple is they're very collaborative. They're not saying to any of us that we have to be 100% locked in. They want to see us all grow. They want to see us bring in new business. So they're very supportive of anything we're all trying to do in the Web3 space. So what has come out of it for me the most is being able to meet connections face to face. We do a lot of meetings online via Zoom, via StreamYard. Well, what we're doing is back to meeting people face to face, and thoroughly enjoyed it, and something I want to do a lot more of.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was actually going to say, because when David was mentioning how he was overseas in Europe for the XRPL Commons, I was recently went up to Ripple's headquarters. Before that, there was a couple other XRPL events locally, and I think there's another one coming up in Miami around Ripple Swell. But where I'm getting at, it does pay to go and engage and interact and meet people face to face, and you never know where those relationships and experiences lead to. I have to actually put out a couple interviews from the XRPL member meetup at Ripple's headquarters. I interviewed Kentaro Vadny. He's a very decorated developer on the XRPL. He's also working with Boone Bergsma, who I mentioned earlier, as well as Ivan, who I've broken bread with you, David, locally here, because he's going to be having an event coming up here shortly in OC. So just trying to basically get in on what's going on the ground floor, and those are the benefits of engaging and participating and showing up to these events, alongside of just being at Ripple's headquarters. That was pretty dang cool too. And
it's impressive, isn't it?
It was. I mean, actually, this is terrible. Full transparency. I forgot a wire that I needed for an interview at my hotel room. So I had to run back from Ripple's headquarters to my hotel room in downtown in the financial district. I was in a full suit sprinting, and then where I'm getting at is I had to run back. They have a second location in San Fran as well. So I accidentally ran to the wrong one, and then before going to the appropriate location. But where I'm getting at is that both locations are proud establishments and very beautiful buildings. And it was great to just break bread and see what's going on, and as mentioned, the ground floor, and hear some really decorated builders and entrepreneurs such as yourself making waves in their rightful swim lanes. On the topic of other things that are going on in the news, Steven, I did read an article about Kin Capital launching $100 million tokenized real estate debt fund. Do you see a lot of competition coming, breaking out into this particular industry? Where do you think Propto's positioned in comparison? I'm going to bring up that article in just a second, just so you can reference what I'm talking about here.
Well, you're bringing up, actually, congratulations to King Capital. So that's exactly what we want to see. We need to see innovative companies embracing change, raising money differently, and democratizing the barrier to entry for retail or smaller investors. So that's exactly what we want to see. So what have we done? It probably brings us back to the asset management solution. So rather than us building a product where we're going to charge you a white label service for it, well, we actually want you to utilize it. So what we've done is we've built a solution that would allow us to share assets in a regulated environment. So we're in a position where we can work. You mentioned Link2. We'd love to work with Link2 in the future, but we have no issue in sharing our assets across multiple different platforms. Liquidity is exactly what we're trying to bring into the space. So we built a very scalable solution that is capable of trading 24/7, but capable of listing assets in multiple different places at the same time. So, and the whole core concept here is to bring liquidity into a traditionally illiquid asset class, and you're trying to democratize your barrier to entry. Without cooperation, without partnership, that's going to be a slower process. So what do I see happening? I already see the rumblings of it. The institutions are looking, they're building, they're testing. But they want to see the trailblazers go out and get market validation first. I think you're going to see the commercial real estate agents, the really big guys, the top four, the JLLs, the CBREs, the Savills, the Cushman Wakefields, the DTZs. You're going to see those guys embrace commercial real estate tokenization very quickly.
I'm right there believing the same thing. When you hear about this is off the cuff and curious on your thoughts, Steven or David. When you hear about large financial institutions gobbling up real estate, maybe BlackRock or other large institutions, if we were moving to a tokenized environment and the title or the deed needed to be with a financial institution, but then just the record of or maybe that is it the excuse me for not speaking entirely correct on is it the deed that stays that affirms ownership, or is it the title? But where I'm getting at is there should always be the title should be on record with a financial institution, and then maybe the SPV is what transfers from individual or entity to entity. What are your thoughts on that? Is that where the market's going? Is that kind of why we see BlackRock or large institutions purchasing up all this real estate? Is it to be ahead of the wave of this tokenization movement?
Yeah, so I suppose it's two-pronged question. In terms of how product is currently recorded varies by jurisdiction at the moment, and you've got so keep it to Europe. You've got multiple different title issuance or title storage. For argument's sake, the average time to sell real estate is over 9 months in Ireland. People don't realize that. 9 months. Wow. So yet we've a housing crisis. Why is there 9 months? Well, unfortunately, because we've got quite an archaic system. Now, we are lucky. There are people like IPAV who are pushing to bring in and to enforce that a legal seller's pack happens in advance, that contracts should be made available at the same time as marketing, whereas you have systems in the US where that's already in place. So it's a very fragmented system throughout the world. In most instances, the SPV would be the registered owner of the title, and that title is then held in the land registry, say in Europe, or with the title issuance firm that's in the US.
Thank you for that. So it's maybe there is a there while we're seeing a BlackRock purchasing.
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's not just real estate. Like, the reason we're building a very flexible solution, you're going to see it for ETFs, you're going to see it for ETPs, you're going to see it for commodities. So people need liquidity in their assets. They're all frustrated with the current costs associated with listing. So with the operating costs, with the slow time to settle those transactions, with the cost to send fiat internationally. So there are so many reasons why tokenization has to come to the fore.
Interesting. Thank you for that. And really interesting, as mentioned, in exciting times. I know we're getting close to the hour here, guys, and being that you're both very busy men, I'm sure you got bigger and better things to do. Actually, I believe you also have another AMA later today, Steven. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We do. It's David hosting. So David is on. I'm actually going to pass you over to Dave. I will be there. I'll be in the background, but Dave is the host for this evening.
Dave, what's the topic of discussion, sir?
Well, as I mentioned, right now in our journey, community building is a very large mover for us. So we reached out to Mel P from Opulence X, and she will be on a space call with us where we will talk about DeFi. And especially, I'm excited. For those of you that don't know, she's in Hawaii, and I lived in Hawaii during the early 2000s. So in previous conversations, we've had a lot of connectivity on that respect.
Okay.
One thing I want to comment about Mel P and the Opulence's community is they've done an outstanding job of building and sort of sets a model. So I'm hoping to get good insights from her on how we can follow suit, onboard some of her community into our community, share that connectivity again, and really just, again, the community aspect of building these projects is so vital, and unlike a lot of other domains, you're somewhat as good as the company you keep, and having a robust, active community is vital to us and moving this project forward. So we're looking forward to welcoming her members, your members, and we're actually looking for other avenues to outreach. So if somebody is watching or listening and would like to jump on board with us, definitely find me on X. I'm at Ledger Integrations, or go to the Propto main account,
which is, I'll put it up on the screen here. That's at Reclosure Dex for those that are interested in what time is the live stream today for you guys?
The live stream will be 2 p.m. my time, so that would put it at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 o'clock on the West Coast. So not long.
Okay, so just in a couple hours here. Well, gentlemen, before we wind things down, I want to leave time for some closing statements. But I do have one final question for you, Steven, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on how close are we? Do you think we are to a peer-to-peer transaction where we do slide an SPV representing ownership of a 2-bedroom home or whatever from one wallet to the next?
No. It's ready to go.
Now,
we built it. That's exactly what we built. So we want people to use it. We're not going to be charging asset owners a white label fee. We're not going to be charging you, the estate agent, you, the fund manager. We want to work with you. We're not going to be charging other exchanges. We're here to share assets. We're here to share resources. We built a primary market. We built a secondary market. We built a Web2 automated investor app. And we built a full asset management CRM for issuance and life cycle. So we're here to work with you. We're here to try and shape the future of TradFi and finance. And we're here to democratize investment.
Can I just drive that home a little bit, Ray? I want to point out to everybody
Absolutely, please.
that Propto is complete. We're continuing to modify and make it better, but this application is ready to go. So when we flip the switch, to borrow the phrase, we're live and we're functioning, and all the hard work has been done. It's something for Steven and his team to be very proud of. But the building aspect's completed, and now we go towards marketing, community building, and onboarding. And I'm really excited to see the onboarding process.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to hear about, or even to participate in, the opportunity of investing in sky rises. I mean, how cool would that to be? I'm not.
Really
who knows
cool.
if we'll see the Empire State Building on Propto, but I mean, I think to diversify into an asset class that has only been reserved to small select few, this is a wonderful opportunity to build a generational wealth. And so, gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to explore Propto and the wonderful offerings that you guys are pioneering for the world. This is a really exciting and interesting times. I think with the MiCA regulations, that's only going to bolster your guys's business model and things of that nature. Is there any closing comments or statements that you'd like to leave with the audience before we go?
Actually, with issuance. So I'm going to leave you a little tidbit. Follow the newsletter. Get onto propto.com to find out. One of our first products is going to be a government-backed real estate. We're going to be selling equities and bonds in a very worthy impact investment. And I don't believe that's ever been done before. So not only will you have the chance to invest in institutional grade asset, but you're going to help a very good cause underpinned by a government organization. We'll fill you in with full detail in the new year. For now, register, and we'd love to keep you updated.
Awesome. Any closing comments from you, David?
Well, Steven did my job for me. Definitely give us a follow. Look forward to the newsletters and other spaces. We are featuring a lot of other projects, but downstream you'll see Propto-centric spaces as well. Come along for the ride. It's been wonderful meeting you both in person. Just to touch back on the IRL, live events. It's a big mover for us, and I wouldn't be as connected to either of you without being in person to shake your hand. So hopefully we'll have more of those downstream, and there's just so much news that should come very quickly between the close of Q4 and the opening of Q1 and Q2 next year. So definitely something to follow along with. I will be promoting the content, so I know a lot of what we have to look forward to. Follow along. What a ride it is.
Yeah, most definitely. What a rocket ship of a ride. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for hopping into today's live stream. It's been very empowering and educational, and definitely enlightening. For those in the audience who have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section or description below. And also be sure to check out propto.com. There's also a plethora of FAQs at the bottom of their website as well for any other questions that we didn't address here today. But gentlemen, it's been quite, as mentioned, a really good time. I'm going to drop you down to backstage and close down this live stream production with one of those high stakes videos. If you don't mind holding on, I'd love to chat a little bit more before I send you off. So, but I appreciate you guys for joining today. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Gray.
All righty. What an interesting and thought-provoking conversation that was. David and Steven are obviously very connected and a wealth of information. So be sure to reach out to them across their socials. I'll be sure to copy their X accounts in the description and comments below. If you don't mind, I appreciate, as mentioned, for all you guys stopping by. If you don't mind liking, sharing, commenting, D for all the above in regards to this video, it sure would help me elevate this channel as I bring it off the ground. So again, if you thought today's content was impactful, let me know in the comments below. But it's been a pleasure having you all back here, and I look forward to seeing you back next week. Thanks again for tuning in. Love you mucho.
Let's look now at the technological progress. Just like in the 20s, setbacks in some areas that I've just tried to describe, at least for one of them, are matched by advancement in others. We find ourselves in the midst of a digital revolution that echoes the technological boom of the 20s. Just as that era saw major development in electricity, automobiles, mass production, our era is witnessing an unprecedented growth in digital technologies. In particular, the rapid development of artificial intelligence looks set to transform a swath of industries, including the financial sector. Financial technology is already having a profound impact on finance. In 2022, fintech generated 5% of global banking revenue, totaling anywhere between 150 and 200 billion US dollars. This share is expected to exceed $400 billion by 2028, growing at a clip of 15% per annum. What are banks doing? They're not sitting idle. They're buying fintechs and adopting their technology to enhance their lending operations. By changing the nature of financial intermediation and fostering competition, fintech can significantly strengthen the transmission of monetary policy decisions to the wider economy, influencing interest rate, asset prices, credit conditions, and ultimately growth and inflation.